New information about the plane crash that killed two people in Monroe last month. The preliminary report from the National Transportation Safety Board shows the plane was flying from Oshkosh to the Monroe airport on November 24th. The pilot told air traffic controllers due to the weather conditions that they weren't able to land in Monroe and would fly back to Oshkosh. According to the report, the plane was flying with about a quarter-mile visibility. After trying to land, the plane hit mining equipment and crashed, killing the pilot and passenger in the plane.